Lately, I've been trying to get outside as much as possible to walk in the Colorado springtime. And honestly, it's been such a grounding and nurturing part of my days. There's something about moving through fresh air and natural beauty that my whole body responds to. And I find myself coming back inside feeling more settled, more present, and more like myself. And many of you may already be familiar with the multitude of mental health benefits we get from walking. Walking has been shown to reduce our stress and cortisol levels and has a real measurable effect on our mood and anxiety. It's genuinely a lovely practice. Moving your body, getting outside, giving yourself that time, your nervous system benefits from all of that. And in this episode, I want to share a simple somatic way to deepen the benefits and deepen your enjoyment of your mental health walks. And that's by practicing somatic mindfulness when you walk. Somatic mindfulness is, at its most simple, the practice of bringing a gentle, curious awareness to what you're noticing in your body and your senses as you walk. It doesn't take any extra energy or time, but it really helps settle your nervous system in a different way. And it also helps you connect with your body and quiet your mind. So rather than letting the mind spin in familiar stories, to-do lists, and the worries that tend to pull us out of the present, somatic mindfulness invites us to come home to the present moment through the body, through the feeling of our feet on the ground, the rhythm of our breath, the sensations moving through us as we move through the world. It's a quality of presence and listening that most of us don't naturally bring to our walks. But when we do, we start to come back to ourselves in a way that feels so replenishing. So, there's no guided meditation in today's episode. Instead, I'm going to share why somatic mindfulness makes such a big difference. And then I'll walk you through some really simple ways to actually bring it into your next walk. Welcome to Somatic Healing Meditations, the podcast that helps you regulate your nervous system, deepen your healing journey, and feel better in your body. I'm Karenna with Hello Inner Light, and I'm so happy you're here. I'm a somatic healing coach who specializes in compassionate, body-centered processing that helps you heal the wounds that are holding you back. So if that's the kind of content you need more of in your life, please subscribe to this podcast and join me every Friday on this beautiful journey out of your head and into your more embodied and authentic self. And if you want to learn even more about how to connect with your body and emotions in a deep and supportive way, I have a free mini course called the Feel It to Heal It mini course that's available on my website. In 5 powerful mini lessons, it will help you drop in, deepen your compassionate self-understanding, and find more clarity and healing on your journey. You can find more information about it in the show notes. But now let's talk about what's actually happening in your body and nervous system when you practice somatic mindfulness, because understanding the why makes the practice so much easier to come back to. One of the first things that happens when we bring somatic mindfulness to a walk is that we begin to consciously orient to our environment through our senses. We notice the temperature of the air on our skin. We actually see the light coming through the trees rather than just walking past it. We hear the sounds around us. And that conscious sensory orienting is deeply regulating because we're actively giving the nervous system real-time information about our environment. We're telling it in a language it actually understands that we're safe and it can relax. So that creates really effortless regulation in a way that we don't usually get on our walks. Honestly, most of us have lives where we're running at a pace that our nervous systems were never designed to sustain. And many of the breaks we're taking aren't really breaks. They're just different kinds of stimulation. But when we bring somatic mindfulness into our lives, that orienting helps regulate us and it begins to quiet our minds. So you may have already noticed this, but we can't really quiet our thoughts just by intending for our minds to be quiet. We need something tangible to direct our minds to. And in somatic mindfulness, we direct them to our bodies and our senses. So, somatic mindfulness actually gives the mind a real felt anchor to rest in rather than just more content to process, right? You can focus on the feeling of your feet on the ground, the sensation of your breath moving, the weight of your body shifting side to side with each step. And that kind of felt focus genuinely interrupts the thinking mind in a way that's psychologically and physiologically restorative. And that downshift is something the body registers as a real relief in a way that 20 minutes of scrolling simply never is. Bringing somatic mindfulness to our walks also builds something called interoceptive awareness, which is simply our ability to sense what's happening inside our own bodies. And this turns out to matter enormously for our mental health and well being. Interoceptive awareness is directly linked to emotional regulation, reduced anxiety, greater resilience, and even stronger empathy for ourselves and others. And on the other hand, poor interoceptive awareness is directly linked to poor mental health outcomes across a range of conditions. And here's what's so lovely about this. Every time we bring gentle, curious attention to what we're noticing in our bodies on a walk, we're actually building that capacity. We're training the nervous system to be more attuned to itself. We're strengthening a pathway that most of us were never taught to use. And the effects of that accumulate over time in ways that reach far beyond the walk itself. And another beautiful thing that happens is that when we bring somatic mindfulness to our walks, we begin to notice what researcher and therapist Dr. Deb Dana calls glimmers. Glimmers are the opposite of triggers. They're those small, ordinary moments of felt goodness that the nervous system recognizes as safe. A patch of sunlight on the ground, the smell of fresh air, a dog trotting past on the path, the feeling of the breeze in your face. These aren't dramatic or peak experiences. They're tiny, available moments of beauty and ease that are happening around us almost constantly. But here's the thing. When we're stressed, dysregulated, and living mostly in our heads, we don't have access to glimmers even when they're happening all around us. Our attention is too narrow, too focused on stress and problem solving and the endless noise of our thoughts to register the small, soft moments of goodness that are actually available to us. So, the capacity to notice a glimmer requires a quality of open, receptive, embodied attention, which is exactly what somatic mindfulness cultivates. Each time we notice a glimmer and let it actually land in the body, we're giving the nervous system a real time experience of safety and goodness. And a mental health walk without somatic mindfulness might take us past 100 glimmers without a single one registering. But when we bring embodied presence to the walk, our sensory awareness opens up and we start to actually receive what's around us. The texture of the bark on the tree, the quality of light at this particular time of day, the sound of the birds that we could have completely missed if our mind had been somewhere else. So our walks and our lives begin to open up more and more to moments of real tenderness and beauty and warmth that were always there, but we just weren't noticing before. And this points to something that I think is at the heart of why somatic mindfulness is so much more than a wellness technique. What we're really cultivating here is a quality of presence and listening to ourselves, to our bodies, and to our actual lives as they're happening. And that quality of attention is really, really meaningful. So much of our suffering comes from being slightly absent from ourselves, slightly elsewhere, moving through our days without really being in them. It's like we manage our experience from a distance, narrating it, analyzing it, trying to fix it or improve it, but rarely actually just inhabiting it. And somatic mindfulness just gives us a gentle way back to ourselves, to the actual felt experience of being here in this body, in this life right now. And when we walk this way, we're not just getting the mental health benefits of movement and fresh air, as real and valuable as those are, we're actually practicing something deeper. We're practicing coming home to ourselves. And that practice over time begins to change the quality of everything, not just our walks, but the way we move through our days, the way we meet our own difficult moments, the way we show up in our relationships, and the way our lives actually feel from the inside. So, hopefully, now you have a better understanding of why you would want to use somatic mindfulness on your walks, why it makes the healing so much deeper and the experience so much richer. And now let's talk about how do we actually practice somatic mindfulness during our walks. It's so simple. You just gently bring your awareness to your body or your senses in any way that feels natural to you. I really like to feel my feet making contact with the ground. You can feel the gentle rocking of your weight from your heel to your toe with each step. You can listen to the sounds of your steps. Your steps will feel and sound different on concrete or snow or gravel or dirt. You can feel the right, left, right, left, right, left rhythm of your steps. And you can feel how the contact with the ground translates up from your feet through your knee, your hip, your trunk, your shoulders. In fact, your shoulders and trunk have a rhythm all of their own as you swing your arms naturally. You can feel your breath as you walk. Simply noticing the rhythmic movement that naturally happens in your chest and tummy with every inhale and every exhale can be very grounding and quieting. You can also direct your breath in different ways. I like imagining that I can breathe into the back of my lungs, or that I can breathe in and out through my heart. You can also play with the pace and the quality of your breath to help you feel your breath more clearly. And as you do all of this, you can let your awareness be gentle and relaxed, right? You don't have to write a thesis on how your feet touch the earth or what your breath feels like. You're just trying to gently notice the sensations. So let this somatic mindfulness be easy. Do less. Let the sensations come to you as your attention rests with your body. And you can also use all of your senses to bring your awareness to your body more and more. Like you can feel the air on your skin. You can smell the air. You can notice the sunlight and the shadows. Feel the sun on your skin. Feel the temperature of the day. You can listen to all of the sounds around you. You can visually take in your environment, noticing the colors, the shapes, and the textures around you. Watch the movement of the leaves on the trees. You can soften your gaze and notice the spaces between the leaves and around the leaves. Notice the things around you that are reflective and notice the things that aren't. Notice the dozens of textures and the dozens of shades of green and brown and yellow. And then you can feel what it's like in your body to be paying attention to these colors and sounds and footfalls. Like I already mentioned, you can notice the glimmers around you. You can scan your environment for things that feel beautiful or nice or even just mildly pleasant. And all of these will help you connect with the moment in a different way. And all of these will send regulating safety signals to your nervous system. And even if there are sensory experiences on your walk that aren't pleasant, you can include them in your awareness as well. Like the other day, I was walking around a nature preserve and there were some men that were yelling at each other, and I found that really annoying. So I just acknowledged how annoyed I really was. I felt the annoyance in my body and let it be there. And it became part of the walking meditation, just another part of the present moment that I was aware of, which actually let the annoyance move through me and release much more quickly than if I had resisted it or ignored it or ruminated about it in my mind. So, even honestly acknowledging things that aren't necessarily pleasant can be a part of this entire practice of somatic mindfulness and can take your healing deeper as you take your mental health walks. So, there are a ton of ways to try somatic mindfulness and a ton of reasons why it's so powerful and meaningful. So, I hope you go out and try it. Go out and feel your feet on the ground and the air on your skin. Notice the glimmers and the colors and the way your body feels when you drop in. And remember to do this gently and with curiosity. You can't do it wrong. It's all just an exploration of the moment. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know in the comments how you're going to try adding somatic mindfulness to your walks, and let me know how it goes for you. As a reminder, you're invited to enroll in my free mini course, the Feel It to Heal It mini course, to experience even more regulation, interconnection, and clarity. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean so much to me if you would subscribe to the podcast and also rate and review it. You could also send this episode to a friend who you think would enjoy it. And don't forget to join me every Friday on this beautiful journey out of your head and into your more embodied and authentic self.